Okay, so we are now going to continue discussing the Siddur. We finished discussing the evening service, and now we're right after the evening service, and now we're annotated Kahat Siddur. We have the counting of the Omer. So let's talk a little bit about the counting of the Omer as we continue our way through this, even though it's not exactly in season right now. But what is the counting of the Omer? So we're told in the Torah, one of the commandments in the Torah is that after we bring the sacrifice on the second day of Passover, and we offer grains from the new crop of grain. So then we have to count 7 weeks, and then at the end of the 7 weeks we have a holiday. And on that holiday we also bring another offering, specifically the shtei alechem, the two breads that are brought as part of the sacrifice, the sacrificial rites of that day, known as the holiday of Shavuot. Shavuot means weeks. And why is it called Shavuot weeks? Because from the second day of Passover, we count 7 weeks. So what exactly do we do? So the verse, there are several verses that talk about this mitzvah of counting the Omer and the establishment of the holiday of Shavuot. In one place it says that one should count 7 weeks. Now we know 7 weeks, if you do math, 7 times 7 is 49. In another place it says count 50 days. 50 days is not 7 weeks, it's 7 weeks plus 1. So what do? So when the Torah tells us count 50 days, I would think that I might count 50 days, and then the 51st day becomes the holiday. So says the Torah, no, it's 7 weeks. I have to count 7 weeks. Well, if I have to count 7 weeks, that's 49 days. So maybe I should count 48 days, and the 49th day becomes the holiday. So says the Torah, no, count 50 days. So how do we reconcile these two? So we count 7 weeks, 49 days, and the 50th day automatically becomes the holiday. That becomes the holiday of Shavuot. The reason for this commandment, so there are a number of reasons that are offered. One reason is offered is because people are busy then with their crop in the field, and we don't want them to forget that they were just up. One of the first of the pilgrimage holidays of the year is Passover. That's the beginning of the year is Nisan, right? So you have the pilgrimage holiday of Passover, and then Shavuot is the second pilgrimage holiday, the third being Sukkot, the festival of booths. So, you don't want to lose track that you have to go back to the temple. So therefore we count these days in preparation so we don't lose sight that, the day is coming and we have to make plans accordingly. Another interesting reason is given is because the furthest distance in Israel to travel, the people that were living in the Holy Land that would travel to the temple was 20 days. So if you were at the temple for the pilgrimage holiday of Passover, and then you traveled home to the furthest distance in the land of Israel, it took you 20 days to get home. You couldn't travel on Shabbos. There are 7 Shabboses during your travels. So the 7 days that you couldn't travel. So you're left with 2 days at home because you've got 20 days of traveling back home, right? But it's not 20 days, it's really 27 days because you also have the Shabboses in the middle. So you've got 27 plus 20 days getting back is another, so it's 47 days. Plus that gives you that, so that just leaves you 2 days to be home. You have to remember that you can't stick around at home. You got home after Passover, you can only spend 2 days at home before you have to come back, right? So you got 20 days of travel coming and going, plus 7 Shabbos that are interspersed within these days of travel. So therefore, you can only stay home for a short period of time. So therefore, they counted those days to remember not to linger at home too long because they'd miss the opportunity to turn around and go back to the temple for the pilgrimage holiday of Shavuot. So this is the holiday. Now, what actually is the mitzvah? The mitzvah is to count all these days, to count 49 days, and the 50th day itself becomes a holiday. What do you count? Do you count the days or do you count the weeks? I mentioned it says in one place you should count 7 weeks. In another place it says to count 50 days. So what do? So we count both. We count days and weeks. So meaning on the first day you'd say today is 1 day of the Omer, and then on the 8th day you would say it is 8 days of the Omer, which is 1 week and 1 day. So like that, you're counting days and weeks. You need to count both of them. And when we count the Omer, we count it standing. This is one of the instances where we're told that when we perform this mitzvah, so it should be done standing. There are different reasons, different verses that the sages cite as sort of an allusion to this idea that it should be recited standing. So the point is that the mitzvah of counting the Omer is a mitzvah that starts on the second night of Passover. Also, because it says, that we should count full days. So we know that in Judaism, a day starts at night. So in order to count full days, that the days should be full. Sheva Shabbos Tmimos, they should be 7 full weeks. So you have to start counting at the beginning of the day. When's the beginning of the day? Is at nightfall. So we count, ideally, the optimal time to count is at nightfall, right after it gets dark outside, which is the very beginning of the new day. And like that, we can count full days because we have the entire 24 hours of that day is accounted for in the counting of the Omer. So the mitzvah is that from the second night of Shavuos, of Passover, we at nightfall we count while standing. We recite the blessing and we count the days and the weeks leading up 7 full weeks until we get to the holiday of Shavuot.